He slightly noticed me. I don't know what
Okay,
he does
so
here.
jumping back in, Darian, as you move across the ceiling to be able to slip into the next room, you notice that the gnome figure, one of his ears twitch and then his eyes slide over, and he notices you. And as he does so, he lets out a tiny little squeal and jumps like 3 feet in the air and hides behind to the other side of the couch.
Oh, good. It's afraid. That's better. It's behind the couch, so it can't see me at this point, right?
At this point, he doesn't seem to be able to see you.
Play the
We're
ghost
just gonna
card.
move along
Play the
into the
ghost
next
card.
room.
No.
We are moving along as
Should've
discreetly
played
as possible. They're not
Ghost
gonna believe him anyway.
All right, you move into the next room. Also, hold on. Roll me a history check.
Now that you've seen their face.
History in this instance gonna put me at 11.
Okay. In case Kelso wasn't aware, the dwarf walking out did call him Master Gooman, which does identify him as your
Oren
target.
Gooman is, yeah.
Oh, he's the one I'm here to kill. Oh,
Oh ho.
okay. Yeah. A gnome, huh?
So you've slidden into the next room.
This changes things.
As that connects in your brain. The next room is actually a hallway. About 20 feet long, there are two sets of sliding double doors that lead into other rooms. One of them is partially open, and you can see on the inside is a nice, comfortable-looking bed, as well as a small desk that is littered with papers and small little baubles. Tiny little figurines that appear to be made out of brass and copper, spools of wires just strewn across the desk in multiple different areas, and little clippings that pepper the floor beneath.
I don't know if there's anything in here that I'd be interested in particular.
I don't know. Are you gonna move in and look through it?
No, because realizing that that's my target is gonna change things a bit.
Yeah, it's now that that's hitting you. Like, oh shit.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I didn't catch the last name. I was focused on the first name earlier. If I were to instead move,
Well, you've already moved in here, and that's where you get your realization. So what are you doing now?
right. Looking back out into the next room.
Into the room that you just came from?
Yeah. Can I tell if the goblin is looking in the original goblin? Sorry, if the goblin is looking in the original direction.
Gnome.
Looking back into the room, he appears to be laying on the couch, his hands folded over his chest in a prayer position. One of his eyes opens quickly and looks in your direction, then closes, and he straightens himself back up. Straightens himself back down, laying flat on the couch.
On his back?
On his back.
Okay. Moving along the floor on the left side of the doorway, and then behind the couch to the far side where his head would be.
As you do so, his eyes open again, and he sees you move. You did roll in that one.
Sure.
And you hear him kind of very softly say, Are you here to kill me?
I can't talk in this form.
No, but you can play the ghost card. Do 20 questions. Charades. Something.
Does it specify humanoid or? Hold on, let me check something.
It's okay. I've lived a long life. I've lived too long to not accept death when it's offered to me. He closes his eyes and closes them tightly and kind of tenses his whole body up.
Kill him. Kill him now.
Bird. It's a trap. It has
Darian,
to be a trap.
I'm gonna say that since that one, I'm obviously gonna be visible during this, but Darian not only went like along the black side of the couch, but like also underneath the couch,
Okay.
so kind of like cascading a little bit from both sides of it, and hearing this conversation, so to speak, Darian considers his options, and at the far end is going to reform into his humanoid shape.
At the foot of the couch?
Yeah, the side where he would be standing above the gnome's head.
Okay. It is a concentration spell. You can just drop it.
Right.
It's getting a little bit more difficult.
Just real quick, the reason I specify that is because normally you can cast this specific spell on multiple creatures and they need to take a full minute to be able to recorporeate, but that's only if they want to end it on themselves. Since you are the spell caster, it is a concentration check and you can just drop it.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So as Darian corporealizes again, definitely pronounced that wrong.
That sounds right to me.
All right, well that's fine too. Darian leans over him a little bit. No, but you will be coming with me.
One eye shoots open and gives you a quizzical look. What?
I am not here to kill you. If you cooperate, no harm will fall to you, but you will need to come with me.
But my colleague said that if anyone came, it would be to eliminate me. And honestly, that's the whole reason I took this job, is because I have lived far too long and am ready to accept death. So it's fine. It's fine. Go ahead. And he closes his eye again.
Kill him.
What? What?
It's me, Ewan McGregor, the voice of reason. Kill this man.
Getting closer up to him, you do notice this guy is old for a gnome, which means he is ancient. He's got male pattern baldness at this point, pretty long, just chin beard. Everything else is shaved pretty clean. Large ears. He's starting to get like the liver spots on the skin. A lot of wrinkles.
You took this job so that you could die?
Well, yeah. Why would anyone ever take a job to live? What are you talking about? You crazy?
What are you, crazy?
Darian has to mentally recoil at this train of thought. I take a job to die, not to live. So I'm sorry. Do you know how economy
Put him in the
works?
bag of holding. Put him in the bag of holding.
That was originally the plan.
By the time you get home, he'll have his wish and you'll have a new zombie body.
I don't want a skeletal.
I want to die having done the thing I love, and I have set things in motion to make sure that the thing I love is done, so I can die happy.
Concern.
What is the thing?
So
that
much
you love to
concern.
do?
Oh, well, since you ask. And he's going to pop up, sit on the edge of the couch, and pull up the little model ship that he had been messing with. This thing is a thing of beauty. I have notes and documents and so much research, and I have been working on this for years. And he kind of turns it over and pulls a little tab, and where you see a ship that's just a sailing vessel, large masts across the top, 3 of them, long. This is very much a long ship. It seems to be almost elongated even more than what you've normally seen, which you at first took for artistic impression. He pulls a little tab on the back, and across the sides and bottom, more sails appear to just fold out from the body of the ship itself. See, with the amount of research that I've been doing and the new artifacts that we've been finding in our dig sites, we can actually finally create flight.
Need an airship, guys. I want an airship.
The pan full
That
of
is-
popcorn is spinning in midair as Rin is teleported. No, I'm kidding.
Treasure Planet, y'all. We're going Treasure Planet.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
So, your life's work has to create flights.
Well,
for ships.
that's a little bit of a misnomer. Flight is a real thing. We all know this. Magically, you can make sure that maybe a few small groups can fly. There's a flying carpet, there's a flying broom, there's a flying spell, there's a levitation spell, and if you're really creative, that'll work too. But there's no way to do long form travel through the air, which could save so many people's lives, could save so much money, could be just a wonderful investment for tourists.
Darian at this point is sitting next to him on the couch. The gnome is now enraptured in Darian's authentic curiosity. And
He will
Darian's-
hand you the model ship
Intelligence
at this
test.
point as he starts using his hands to talk.
Kill him, you have the
Wonderful.
merchandise.
Wonderful. Darian is going to take a vested interest in this.
Artificer.
Darian is going to now be this gnome's friend.
Go ahead and make an investigation check as you're taking great interest in the ship.
Ooh, a good roll. Investigation is a 21.
This is not just a model. This
I knew it.
is very much a schematic in and of itself.
Kill him now.
This is truly interesting.
Especially with that roll, you can
No.
definitely tell that if what he's saying is true, this is revolutionary. There
We
aren't
went for
flying
many
ships in this
long
world. The
together.
closest thing you have are the sand skippers, which people use in the desert, using the desert winds, and they're enchanted small little skiffs that have a blade that comes off the bottom and slides across the sand to keep them going in a specific direction. They're actually very popular to race in some of the cities.
Nice.
Now this is pod racing.
I feel like Rin has definitely raced one of these at least once.
At
I'm
least
sure.
once for sure. It was a getaway car in one of his hits.
I was gonna say an impromptu race.
It was a getaway / joyride.
Hell yeah.
The dice gods have given me opportunity. The question is how to employ it.
His name is Soltier, and he would appreciate it if you use his name. The God of Chance.
Ascribing agency to the polyhedron.
Yes. But a different polyhedron, not the one that's been trying to kill the two that have been trying to kill me last 3 sessions.
Oh, you're no fun.
What
What
is
is your
how-
name?
My name is Orin Gooman. You may call me Orin, you may call me Gooman. All of the lads around here like to call me Master, because apparently they think I do a lot of stuff.
I mean, this is fascinating work. I would imagine that you are quite an expert in your field.
Oh, you understand it?
I have a fairly decent grasp. I mean, it makes sense. This is astonishing work, to say the least. This would be revolutionary for sure. Um, go ahead.
I have worked on this model for years, and the problem with it has always been that I cannot get a focus that would be able to hold such a large amount of the arcane weave to be able to levitate and move such a large vessel. But with the Venzoli being as kind as they are, and the excavations they've been doing in the middle of the city to build their grand port, they have uncovered some ancient ruins that had large crystals in them. And those crystals floated on their own, and I was able to kind of reverse engineer what they were, and they used to be arcane locks for a floating city.
A floating city.
Yeah.
DM, can I make a history check on this? Is this
Totally.
anything Darian would know?
Make a
This
history
would
check.
definitely-
It's definitely a high DC.
I rolled a base 10, so 16.
Yeah, you're like children's stories. They're always about castles in the sky. Sometimes
Sure.
Times
they
before the
have
calamity.
giants. Sometimes
Thunders.
people say that there were floating cities around the world before the Third Age, but it's always been conjecture.
Tell me, Odin, if this has been your life's work and it is only now coming to fruition and advances are being made in this model, why is it now that you seek death?
Well,
Why would you not want to wait and see this all through?
because I have. And he takes the model away from you and waves his hand over it and doesn't necessarily cast a spell, but activates a spell and then lets go, and the ship begins to float on its own. I have my working model. It's a proof. Everything's come together, and now I have all of what I need for someone else to build the big thing. But I don't care about the big thing. I just care that I proved it.
A decent point, but I mean, to see the real thing. I mean, not the real thing. This here is the real thing, but to see it executed at such a large, realistic scale, you would not want to see that with your own eyes?
I mean, there's a part of me, yeah, that would love to see that. Love to be able to fly amongst the clouds in such a large ship, travel the world with it, but you have to understand, at that point, I'm no longer getting to do what I love. It's already done, and I'm just reaping the fruits of my labor, and that sounds boring.
I see.
Feel
DM,
the ship.
I'm going to ask out of character.
Yeah.
What with Darian's intelligence and charisma and wisdom and all.
Humility.
Yeah, humility. What realistically would be the chances of being able to convince him to come with Darian, to more or less present this to the, not the Venzoli, but the
Evans Tower.
Evans
thank
Tower.
you.
That is a very good question. Roll me an insight.
I I rolled a 23. I'm actually really happy.
There are a few ways you can take it. On one hand, he seems pretty dead set on dying. He is old, and you can see that he's definitely to that point of age where once he gets something in his head, he's pretty stuck with it. But this man has a vitality about him. He is still very much out of the grave, still very much keenly aware. He's not losing it mentally at all. He's not degrading from age quickly, other than just his appearance, and possibly a little bit of senileness. But uh, we're all a little senile.
Hmm. We're all mad here.
Should you be able to promise him an excitement that could drive him to something new, you have a good feeling that he could probably be happily living for another 200 years.
Name is Rin.
All right. He's a gnome. He's an artificer. He has achieved a working scale model for extended flight, for large travel of large ships. What would entice this man to come with
Rin's
me,
gonna overthrow the
work
government.
on something else? What? That I don't think that's going to enthrall him. That's not building, that's destroying.
You don't think building an entirely new system of government won't enthrall a gnome?
DM thoughts on that response?
What would interest Darian? Darian's not terribly far from this individual, although he's not this at all close to the same age nor the same intensity in his own doings. What would interest Darian in pushing forward after his kids have moved on, after all of his drive has left, after he's accomplished all of his goals? What would drive Darian to the next thing?
Biologist talking to an engineering professor.
Exactly. You guys are cut from the same cloth.
A very late biologist.
Very late biologist.
Turns out you can carbon date him.
Wouldn't that just make him an archaeologist?
Yeah, that would be archaeology.
Eh.
Is that archaeology or paleontology?
There we go, paleontology.
Yeah, it would be
I-
paleontology.
It doesn't matter
I guess
because
as a learned individual, I guess teaching.
Well, I'm Darian. I'm a learned individual.
Here's your freaking do. Shut up.
when you own your own bookstore,
This
you
is
can
refer-
tax.
Would
This is
would
referring to the
Darian,
gnome.
would Darian, after accomplishing everything he's done, be satisfied with teaching? This is a legitimate question.
I think he would. I mean, he runs a bookstore, a family
Mhm.
in the sake of sharing knowledge and information, and as well as stories to tell. And
Well, then
I think he
Have Darian speak from the heart then.
would. Okay, let me think about this.
Take your time. We can take 2 weeks if you want.
No.
Dies internally.
Yes. I can see, Orin, that you have accomplished great things. And I admire that. I truly do. And accomplishing everything that you could ever want to do is in itself satisfaction beyond measure. But why let that die with you? There's so much you could teach people and teach them to aspire to be, from learning from you, from your example, the things that you have done to inspire the next generation or 20. I mean, people could learn so much from you. And imagine that your accomplishments being expounded upon tenfold by all of the people who you could impact on.
Here's what I'm gonna do. Darian, Kelso, you've put a decent amount of thought into this. I want you to roll me persuasion with advantage and a DM's inspiration, which is a D12.
I didn't roll a nat 20, but I did get a 31 in total.
Hell yeah. You speak from the heart for a moment, almost losing yourself in your own words and thoughts. You picture what your ideal is, what you want to see yourself being when you're older. And in that, put a unexpected amount of passion behind your own words. As you seem to come to yourself once more, kind of shaking yourself out of your own deep thought process, you look over and you see the gnome is actually teared up. He kind of sits there looking at the ship, mouth slightly agape. His head drops. Oh no. Have I been selfish? Oh, well, that's a heavy load to bear. I don't think I want to die anymore.
It is not a load you would have to bear alone.
Huh. Well, in that case, I probably shouldn't stick around here. The Vinzoli mob isn't known for charity always, and I may or may not have undermined a few of their things without them knowing.
Yes! So proud.
You wouldn't happen to know a sneaky way out of here, would you?
I think together we could find a way.
Well, you start working on that, and he's going to grab the ship from out of the air, uncast the spell, and pull the tab again, and the extra sails are going to fold back into the ship. I have a lot of packing to do.
Of course. And before he gets up, Darian's going to give a very authentic smile and extend his hand and say, "I am Darian Ramtuk."
Oh, Ramtuk. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
And a
Can't say
friendship was
so proud.
formed.
you're the nicest assassin I've ever had the pleasure of dealing with.
You shithead, you better disillusion him real fast.
Granted, you're the only assassin I've actually had to deal with. So, that's a good track record. And he hops up and walks off.
I love how instantly Rin Forge was so insulted.
Darian chuckles as he slowly stands up. Well, like I said, I am not here to kill anyone. But it is nice to have made a friend along the way. Go ahead and pack your things. I will look for a way.
Poison your toilet seat.
He pops back into the room where you had seen all of the scattered mess across the desk, and you hear the shuffling of papers and the stuffing of items into bags. What is Rin doing? What is Darian doing?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Darian
More
is looking
popcorn.
for Darian is looking for the nearest way out.
All right.
Actually, is there a window on this floor?
Not in this immediate room.
Is there one in the hallway that Darian had briefly walked into?
Walking back into the hallway, there does appear to be a window on the very far end of the hallway, right next to the door on the far end at the left.
Okay, close enough. When Orin is completely packed, Darian is going to walk up to him and say, "This may be a bit unorthodox, but the best way out of
Can you
here."
hold your breath?
Yep. I have a bag of holding. if I could impose and ask you to.
Oh, we're doing the old Saluvian escape. I like it.
Oh my god. I
Yes,
love this gnome.
actually.
Rin loves this gnome.
He is hobbling out of his room with 3 satchels, a large backpack, and a floppy hat.
Yes.
As he's making his way, Darian's going to stick his head into the bag briefly, and then come.
Darian sticking his own head in the bag?
Yes,
Okay.
and then remove his head, and then present it for the gnome to go ahead and hop in. And while he was in the extra dimensional plane, he had given his skeletons the command, "You will protect him with your life."
Okay. Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Unlife.
Or unlife, as the case may be.
He's going to slowly start pulling all the bags off and shoving them into your bag one by one as much as he can, and then he's going to begin to step in and give you a good look and says, "Thank you. You've been a good friend," and then slides into the bag.
Oh god, he's gonna die.
No, he's not.
He can only hold his breath for 6 seconds.
10 minutes. He gets 10 minutes,
Finally,
then he
a good way to die.
he gets 10
He's
minutes, then he
dead.
suffocates.
He's alive, but he's dead.
It's not. It's not gonna take Darian 10 minutes to get out.
I certainly hope not.
All right, what is
Because you're
Darian
not
doing?
any guy.
Darian's gonna hike up his back again, and he's gonna try and make his way to that window.
All right, you make your way to the window. You make it to the window.
Darian's gonna open the window.
All right. Out past the window, you see that there is a garden area in the back of this building. Guild Hall. That's the word I was looking for. Guild Hall. There is a wooden structure that kind of gives it half shade, probably during the afternoon. Some wooden planks that do a checkered style across the top. It's about like 15 feet down before that. And everything else, you see buildings around you, the starry night above. You can smell outside the smell of a night on the city. What would you like
And
to
popcorn.
Okay,
do? And
so
the faintest smell of burning seeds.
Darian takes note of the smell, and that's probably Rin enjoying the show. I can tell. So to clarify, 15-foot drop, and then it's a garden area.
Yeah, 15-foot drop, then it's the half ceiling of a garden area. So it's I have a really hard time explaining this.
I'm picturing rooftop garden, if that helps.
Kind of. Sure. Did
the
anyone play
window-
the first Assassin's Creed?
Yeah.
Briefly.
So you know that place that you meet up with the assassin in Jerusalem where he's got that garden in the back where you sleep and it's got the like half ceiling, but it's
Yeah,
like
it's a covered garden.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a covered garden. That's
It's
what
like
it is.
it's like
But
the
it's a bit bigger
cross-hatched
than that.
wooden beams, right?
Yes, thank you. Crosshatched is the word I was looking for, and I
Ah.
could not find it.
Oh,
And
like
it is an open
Gladiator.
area. Darian is
Now
going
that
to-
Darian has opened the window, is he visible to us?
No, he's on the other side of the building from you.
Gotcha. Now, what if I had X-ray vision?
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess.
It depends on how far your X-ray vision is.
And where you're focused.
You are technically correct.
Would Rin like to make a perception
not
check to see
correct.
if he notices anything?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
That
roll a
sounds more
perception
le-
check.
That sounds more legal.
The smell of bullshit has wafted
Morally.
south.
21. Holy shit.
21. All right, you would notice something actually.
Manure on the end.
You would notice that bouncing off the building behind the guild hall, you see a light shift. It appears someone has opened a window and moved into the open space.
Rin makes his way around that side of the building, still on the
All right.
rooftops.
Good to know. How stealthy is he being right now?
I mean, I can roll a stealth check for you if you want.
Sure.
Like a fucking cat. Just pouncing
I
between
think
the
this is
buildings.
actually the worst stealth check he's ever rolled.
17.
No, I rolled a 12.
A 12
Close
in all?
enough.
Yeah,
All right.
he rolled
Uh,
a 2.
The pan is still a little hot, so it takes you a few seconds to realize to not put it back in your bag and end up putting it on the tile,
Oh,
which
no.
makes the slightest of sounds. And as you move from that, you go to jump across the gap between the next you and the next building. And as you do so, Liberty, with your passive perception,
Yeah.
you notice a dark shape leap from one building to another right above you, and you would recognize the silhouette.
Well, that answers one question. And we still don't know what your idiot father is doing.
Hey.
No. He's probably in there making a fool of himself.
Little did he know.
He's making two fools.
So what does Rin see when he reaches the side?
Well, hold on. What's Darian doing?
Darian, for no reason in particular, is is sitting kind of in the
Casting
window.
Toll the
Sure.
Dead off to his right at the top of the building.
Is
Ah,
Darian is sitting in the windowsill with like his foot like half crossed over and leaning against the far end of the windowsill, and is taking in his surroundings, deciding on the best pathway. So he's
All right.
sitting there briefly.
So it's about that time that Rin, you would curve around the side, and looking over there, you see a covered garden and a shithead halfway out the window.
fantastic.
How do you
do
keep
you-
doing that?
You know how Roo sits in Winnie the Pooh,
Uh huh.
where he uses his tail as kind of a chair.
Uh huh.
Oh, this is, we're doing this bit again.
Rin sits kind of like that and just kind of ponders what he's looking at for a second, and then pulls out the heavy crossbow.
I'm gonna make a ladder for him with crossbow bolts.
No.
Oh, you're worse.
Use the-
I'd
use
love
the
to see him
normal
try.
He uses a normal bolt, not a poisoned one, but he ties one end of his rope to the bolt
Okay.
and he fires it at the window.
I assume you're not trying to
That
hit
is
Darian.
how
you're
I am not
to-
trying to
Darian
hit
the
Darian, but I would
Okay.
not be upset if I breezed him.
Go ahead and roll me an attack roll.
I don't know if I've ever heard the word breezed instead of grazed.
Also, this is far too jovial for any of this. There we go.
I made a friend and I inspired him to live. Let me relish in this.
No, I'm really
It's a 16.
really proud of
16?
you. I am.
Darian, right at the tip of your nose, you feel a breeze and a bright blur passes in front of your face before right in the windowsill to your left, you see a crossbow bolt has embedded itself about halfway down, and attached to it is a rope that lines all the way across the road to the far end.
Darian looks off into the distance, seeing the shadowy shape, and kind of jerks his head upward in a nod. And Darian's now going to try and shimmy across, but is slightly annoyed at the fact that this is the way this has ended up going. He is also doing the I can't think of what it's
Shuffle.
called. The what?
The Cupid Shuffle.
I can't think of the way there's a term for it, but I can't think of what it is. But Darian's hanging underneath the rope with his legs wrapped and his arms pulling him across.
Alien.
All right. And Rin, you're just holding the other end of the rope?
I have tied it to the eaves of the house I'm standing on.
All right. In that case, I will take that as an assist action. Darian, go ahead and roll athletics with advantage.
Oh, thank God, advantage. Athletics is a flat 0, so 13.
13. All right. It takes you a little while. It takes you about 3 minutes to keep count to make sure
Ring-
that there's still air inside the bag.
Rin goes back and retrieves his pan of popcorn and goes back and just sits at the end of the rope.
You definitely have time. And about that time, Darian, you've made it to the far side.
Oh, would you look at that? The baby's first taste.
Definitely not my first, but thank you for the assist. As
Also,
Darian
how much
climbs
air
onto
does the
rooftop.
old man have left?
7 minutes.
I have 10 minutes in total, so yeah, that makes sense. Let's get going. Hello.
I
Rin,
mean, that
was
was
talking to
you,
you.
Rin. 'Cause I'm down on the
Rin
couch.
yanks on the rope to pull the bolt out and then winds it up and puts
All
it
right.
back in his bag.
I'm keeping this.
I'll allow it. Actually, hold on. Go and give me an athletics check.
12 even.
Okay. I'll say that you are able to get it back without snapping the bolt in half, so you are able to save that bolt. And don't leave too much evidence behind. You leave evidence behind.
Oh,
but,
it's fine. I just
you
didn't
could've
want it
left
to be
more.
immediately traceable.
Where are you guys headed?
So, I'm assuming we could see the whole rope thing happen.
Yeah, you could have definitely seen. You definitely saw the rope, and you saw Darian slowly cross.
Let's go home.
Okay, then we're
You
We're
you heard
crossing
Rin's
that-
muffled laughter.
yeah. Then we've crossed over to that side of the building, and you're just like, so the idiot lived. Good to know.
Oh, he always manages somehow.
Oh, that was sorry. That was a projected stage whisper to go up to the guys on the
Oh, I
roof
see, I
to
see, I see.
Potentially, yes.
What? And Zafir can't respond to it?
Well, no, I just wanted to clarify that it wasn't mumbled to the person next to me.
Ah.
It was that you guys should be able to hear it too. Should you choose to respond.
He does respond in the way I said,
Yeah.
but you guys
As
also
soon
hear.
as he hears Liberty's voice, Rin leaves.
Oof.
Oof. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Darian looks down at the two and has a pretty beaming smile. Let's go home, guys. And I would say that Liberty has probably gotten to know Darian well enough to know this is the gleeful smile of someone who's committed homicide in the dark of night and is just happy about it. This is something else.
And that is where we're gonna leave off tonight.
See, that is a good ending, damn it.
Oh, I'm so happy.
We gave you guys
This is
we
so
gave
much
us
more
almost another
satisfying.
hour. Thank you so much, Jacob.
There are the famous stealth-based superheroes. There is the Shadow, who practiced an ancient Asiatic art that allowed a human eye to simply not be able to perceive his form. There is
Yeah,
the
hypnotism.
Ghost, who is able to phase his way through any obstacle. And then there is the Piss Cloud.